All right, people. So today we are creating a seedling tray. So you can usually buy seedling trays and they look like this. You know, repackaged. They have 3 layers. But you don't want to do that and spend the money. You can just get an egg carton because we can reuse things. We are resourceful. We are upcycling. So this one happens to have 3 trays, which is nice because most of your seedling trays are like that. But what we're gonna do is just break away this part. Sorry about the noise, people. I live on a main street, so it can get noisy sometimes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this portion away. It does have little rippies on this, but it's not as easy as it looks. I'm just gonna cut it. Keep me away from the headache. Alright, so that's gonna be like our bottom. So we can put water in this portion. Let's see. And then here, we can do this side or we can do the opposite side, whichever. I'm gonna just do this side because it kind of has these little perforated holes right here. But what we need to do is pop holes into the bottom so water can come out, okay? Because we don't want our ceilings overly saturated. So I'm gonna take my scissors and let me just reposition this a little bit so you can see kind of what I'm doing here. There we go. I'm just gonna pop a little hole in there. And do this to each one. Hopefully it doesn't take a lot of pressure, but I'm not completely destroy it. Maybe I can cut a hole into it. And then I can. Yep, that's probably my best bet. Be careful, be aware of how you utilize your scissors. Do this process. I think it's kind of better to just snatch it up with the scissors. You can use, these are plastic, but you can use your regular kind of, what's that, foam or whatever material most egg cartons are made out of. You can use those too. Young child, please have a little bit of supervision because as you can see, this is not like a very safe practice. But reasons why you would start your seeds, maybe you want to get a head start and you want to just be prepared for the next season, so you can start seeds early so you don't have to worry about going through raising seeds in the ground, because even though it's like a cool experience, it is a labor of love because you have to water. It's North Carolina, so we're in the dead of, well, not dead of summer, but soon we will be in the dead of summer, and woo, to be out there watering all those plants, it can be a lot, and to keep up with where they are positioned and things, it can be a lot. So you just want to do what's best for you. I'm actually doing this for a different program outside of my home, but I'm going to use the actual seed starting tray that I showed you in the beginning for my own personal garden, just because I've actually never used them before. I have some other ones that I can show you that are much smaller, so if you want to do them in your home. And I'm actually in my greenhouse, but you can definitely do this inside your home, especially with this, because this basically is a greenhouse. This little carton situation is a greenhouse. So, It's up to you how you really want to do it, but I suggest maybe doing this a little bit in steps because it's taking way longer than I expected. But, you know, you get the gist. You get to struggle with me because everything is not a beautiful, glamorous 5-minute picture. You know, we got to take our time. Get done what needs to get done. All right. Whew. So we got all our holes started. So it's gonna go like that because what I can do is I can lift this up. I can put water in this base. So I don't have to worry. And then I can always like close it, get that greenhouse effect, or I could do it the opposite way. Leave that open just over, you know, it's up to me. Or I can do it this way, you know, doesn't matter. So I bought this seed starting mix. I don't know if you can see the whole bag. But I bought that because, you know, we want the proper soil. You never want to do like any soil that is not recommended. The differences are what's in the soil. So I don't know if you can see that, but in this one, you see specialty soil. It has nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, I believe that's short for. So, you know, most of the time you're gonna see when you do like a soil test that they'll have like a list of your phosphates, or phosphorus, excuse me, nitrogen, and potassium, because that is basically what soil is made out of, and you want to make sure they're balanced well. And so getting mixed is just helpful because you don't have to worry about the pH and things being too acidic or too basic. It's a whole science, you guys. You want to make sure your science is legit. Okay, so we're gonna take this. It has perforated edges, easy peasy. Okay, I don't know if you can see pretty well. Okay, so we're gonna take this. We're gonna fill in our pails. I'm gonna put on my gloves because, you know, there's a lot of mixing, like when you start to plant a lot and you kind of want to protect your hands. You know, a lot of times we put our hands in our mouth. We don't know what we're putting in our mouths and our bodies, so gotta be careful. I'm gonna take my potting mix. I'm gonna go fill that well up. Just go down like an assembly line. And, you know, I can get it more accurate momentarily. See. So we have a few wells there. All right, let's see the rest of them. And you see, even though there's holes in the bottom, soil is a pretty coarse material, especially when you buy mixed. So it's not only what we would classify as dirt, but it's like different minerals, things to make the soil actually nutrient rich. And so we don't have to worry about it being falling through or being so thin, because, you know, our plants need the nutrients. So this is like a 1-2 hit for our plants. You want to make sure they're pretty full, because what's going to happen over time is that when you water, you know, the soil is going to decimate. It's going to thin out. It's going to look very coarse. So you want to make sure that you fill it up. Run over it. All right, so we we filled in our wells. You can see that. Boop, 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 boop. And now we're just gonna put a little pinky size well there. This is where we're gonna put our seeds, okay? It doesn't take much, you know, you don't have to bury it down. Just a little well there for your seed to be in. So we're gonna do a few. Okay, so we got our wells, we have our seeds. So I'm gonna do some marigolds. I'm gonna do those yet because I can't handle it. I'm gonna do these daisies, butterfly wildflower mix, some radishes that I had from last year because kids love to pull things out of the ground, so we like to let them see that. And some okra, something new for the kids to try. All right, so in order for me to remember what's in each well, I'm going to use my handy dandy Sharpie. And I'm gonna write out what I'm putting in each well. So I'm probably gonna put some okra in the first 4. And then I'm gonna put some radishes. There's 2 different types of radishes here. So we have, okay, so we got our wells, we have our seeds. So I'm gonna do some marigolds. I'm gonna do those yet because I can't handle it. I'm gonna do these daisies, butterfly wildflower mix, some radishes that I had from last year because kids love to pull things out of the ground, so we like to let them see that. And some okra, something new for the kids to try. All right, so in order for me to remember what's in each well, I'm going to use my handy dandy Sharpie. And I'm gonna write out what I'm putting in each well. So I'm probably gonna put some okra in the first 4. And then I'm gonna put some radishes. There's 2 different types of radishes here. So we have, so now we got all our seeds in. You see we got the okra, we got the 2 different type of turnips in there. And now, let's get my glove back on. And now, just gonna cover our friends up. We're gonna have a nice little home here. So you want them to be under. We don't want them to be exposed because in order to grow, sometimes you gotta get buried. Let that be a word to you. You'll catch it on the ride home. But yes, we're just covering them up again. We have our labels on the side here, so you probably can see that maybe. It says okra. and the different types of turnips so we can identify what in the world we just grew. Alright, covering things up, covering things up, covering things up. Alright, so I'm putting them in my tray. I'm going to mist this